Welcome to my project Bazaar. Let me discuss about the project burn depth analysis using multidimensional scaling applied to physiophysical experiment data. Let me discuss about the abstract of the project. Physicians employed to diagnose a burn depth in order to determine with experimentally proposed a multidimensional scaling analysis. These mathematical features are correlated with these physical characteristics analysis. These features have been improved with the principal component analysis and a support vector machine classifier. This method to identify physical features that experienced plastic surgeon employed to classify burns into their depths. Finally, these features are classified with k nearest neighbor classifier and support vector machine. Burn injury is essential to initiate the correct first treatment. For diagnosis, the treatment is necessary to know the depth of the burn. Correct visual assessment of burn depth relies highly on specialized dermatological expertise. Epidermal burns are usually red, dry, and painful. One important point that arises from the studies that used the same output measurement and the same scale is the fact that they provide different numbers for those wounds expected and not expected to heal. Not mentioned in any of those studies is the fact that different areas in the body have a different perfusion and what is the potential effect of this baseline differential perfusion on the PU obtained after a burn. Let me discuss about the flow diagram for our process. Taken the input image from the dataset folder. In the pre-processing stage, generally medical images are noisy. Noises in the images reduces the quality of the images. In order to improve the quality of the images, we normally employ some filtering operations. Median filter is used for filtering. Median filter considers each pixel in the image in turn and looks at its nearby neighbors to decide whether or not it is a representative of its surroundings. Next in the segmentation phase. The segmentation thresholding is the simplest method of image segmentation. From a grayscale image, thresholding can be used to create binary images. Threshold at each pixel dynamically depending on the average gray level in the neighborhood of the pixel. This adaptive threshold technique used to differentiate between foreground and background pixels resulted output with a high accuracy rate in different illumination conditions. Next in the multidimensional scaling. In the MDS is means of visualizing the level of similarity of individual cases of a dataset. It refers to a set of related coordination techniques used in information visualization, in particular to display the information contained in the distance matrix. An MDS algorithm aims to place each object in n-dimensional space such that the between object distances are preserved as well as possible. Here to analyze similarity matrices for a graphical representation of the data that would lead to a better interpretation of them. Next in the classifier stage. In this paper, classification has been done by KNN classifier and as well as the SVM classifier. K nearest neighbor algorithm is a non-parametric method used for classification and regression. The input consists of the K closest training examples in the feature space. The output depends on whether KNN is used for classification. KNN is a type of instant-based learning or lazy learning where the function is only approximated locally and all computation is deferred until classification. Next in the support vector machine classifier are used, which are supervised learning models with associated learning algorithm that analyze data and recognize patterns used for classification and regression analysis. An SVM model is a representation of the example points in space mapped so that the examples of the separate categories are divided by a clear gap that is as wide as possible. SVM becomes famous when using pixel maps as input. It gives accuracy comparable to sophisticated neural networks with elaborated features in a handwriting recognition task. It also being used for many applications such as handwriting analysis, face analysis and so forth, especially for pattern classification and regression based application. The foundation of support vector machines have been developed by Wapnick and gained popularity due to many promising features such as better empirical performance. Finally, the result will be analyzed. Although all one's bands were created to the some animal and no comparison could be made between different animals, the histological depth of all the bands were the sum, indicating a good repeatability of creating such bands. Finally, we calculated the in-depth of the Burns analysis. Let me discuss the running procedure for our process. Select the main.m file from the run current folder, right-click that file and press the run file for executing this process. This is a main window. While pressing the input image button, we can browse the input image from the dataset folder. Select any one images from the dataset folder and I display that input image in the axis 1 plot. And while pressing the pre-process button, we can perform the pre-processing operation. That is, here I am using median filter. I displayed the noise reduction image in the axis 2 plot, and while pressing the color text button, we can separate the input image into number of bands. This represents red region of the image, and this represents the green region of the image. This represents the blue regions of the image. While pressing the segmentation, we can perform the threshold based segmentation for our input images. I display the threshold based segmentation result in the axis 3 plot, and in the multidimensional scaling button, we can perform the feature extraction process for our segmented region. This is the feature values for the segmented region. While pressing the classification button, it will go to the classification window. Here I perform two classifier, KNN classifier and SVM classifier. When KNN classifier process, this is the classification comparison graph with respect to test feature and groups, and this is the superficial dermal band is the output of our process, and I plot the accuracy, specificity and sensitivity here. And while pressing the SVM classifier, again we got the classification graph between test feature and groups. This is the output result for classification, SVM classification, superficial dermal band. And this is the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity values. And by pressing the analysis graph, we got the analysis results between accuracy, sensitivity and specificity. And while pressing the 3D representation of our images, we got the 3D representation for our burns depths. So this is the 3D representation for our burn depths. So finally, by analyzing these features correlated with mathematical features by itself, categorized with a success rate of 83.88%, this method successfully classifies burns into their depths. Thank you.